What if the man everyone once trusted is now seen as a traitor? The episode wastes no time throwing us into chaos. War is getting closer. But the real danger isn't just the battlefield, it's the fact that loyalties are breaking apart from the inside. People who once stood together are now questioning each other. And right at the center of all this is Jaime Fraser, a man who has fought, bled, and sacrificed for others, now standing almost completely alone. This episode opens with multiple storylines moving at once, but they all share one thing in common. Roger is no longer safe. Jaime no longer has support. Fergus is faced with a choice that could change his entire future. And just when things couldn't get more unpredictable, Buck returns, bringing news that could shift everything again. We see Roger stuck in a situation he never planned for. He was sent with a simple goal to help Jaime by getting weapons. That's it. No fighting. No danger. Just a negotiation. But things don't go the way anyone expected. Instead of leaving with support, Roger ends up trapped inside Colonel Marion's camp. And not just stuck. He's forced to stay as the Continental Army prepares for battle. The worst part, he's now on the wrong side of the war, with no clear way out. A man who wanted peace is now being pushed toward violence. At the same time, the tension between Jaime and Captain Cunningham is quietly building in the background. There's no full confrontation yet, but you can feel it coming. Cunningham isn't just another enemy, he's calculated, patient, and dangerous in a way that feels personal. He's not rushing into war. He's watching, waiting, and preparing. And that makes him even more threatening. Then we shift to Fergus, and his storyline brings a completely different kind of conflict. It's not about war. It's about power, identity, and opportunity. He discovers something that could change his life forever, that he is the rightful heir to land in the Northwest. Land that the French are very interested in. Land that could make him incredibly rich. For a moment, it feels like a way out. A chance to escape the danger, the chaos, and the constant struggle. But nothing in this world is that simple, because taking that opportunity means making a choice. And that choice could cost him his loyalty, his values, and maybe even his place among the people he loves. And just when the episode feels like it's already juggling enough tension, we get the return of Buck Mackenzie. His arrival isn't just a surprise, it actually matters. He brings closure to one problem by revealing that Rob Cameron is no longer a threat, but at the same time, his presence adds weight to what's coming next. Because Buck isn't the kind of character who just stands on the sidelines. He's here for a reason, and when he chooses to stand with Jaime, it tells us something important. Jaime may be losing support, but he's not completely abandoned. All of these threads are carefully placed at the start of the episode, and together they build one clear message. Everything is shifting, the balance of power is changing, trust is breaking, and every character is being pushed toward a decision that will shape what happens next. But the most important part of this setup isn't the action, it's the feeling. There's a sense that something big is coming, but no one is ready for it. Not Jaime, not Roger, not Fergus. Everyone is moving forward, but no one really knows where they'll end up. And that's what makes this episode so interesting. Because this isn't just the start of another conflict. This is the moment where everything begins to fall apart. Roger thought he was walking into a simple deal, but instead, he walked straight into a trap he didn't even see coming. When Roger arrives at Colonel Marion's camp, there's a sense of cautious hope. This was supposed to be the solution to Jaime's biggest problem. No army, no weapons, no support. Roger was sent to fix at least one of those things. And at first, it almost works. The colonel doesn't seem hostile. In fact, there's a moment where it feels like he might actually agree to help. Roger speaks carefully, respectfully, trying to make it clear that this isn't about politics. It's about survival. Jaime needs weapons, and Marion has them. It should have been a simple exchange. But everything changes the moment Jaime's name is fully understood. You can feel the shift instantly. The tone hardens. The openness disappears. And suddenly, Roger is no longer a guest. He's a problem. The Continental Army doesn't see Jaime Fraser as a hero. They don't see his past sacrifices or the battles he's fought. All they see is a man who walked away when it mattered most. In their eyes, Jaime didn't choose love or loyalty, he chose himself. And in the middle of a war where men are dying every day, that's not something they're willing to forgive. So when Roger stands there, asking for help in Jaime's name, he's not just asking for weapons. He's defending a man they already judged. And that puts him in a dangerous position. Colonel Marion makes it clear, without raising his voice, that there will be no deal, no weapons, no support, nothing. But the real shock doesn't come from the refusal, it comes from what happens next. Because Roger expects to leave. He expects to return to Jaime with bad news, maybe even try another plan. But he's not allowed to go anywhere. The camp is on the edge of battle, and orders have already been given. No one leaves. Not soldiers. Not visitors. Not even someone like Roger, who never planned to stay. The reason is simple but terrifying. They don't want anyone slipping away and switching sides. Trust is so fragile now that even the possibility of it breaking is enough to lock everyone in place. And just like that, Roger's role changes completely. He didn't come here as a soldier, but now he's being treated like one. This is where the real tension begins to build. Because Roger is not Jamie. He's not a warrior by nature. He's a man who has always tried to avoid violence when possible. He thinks, he plans, he negotiates. That's his strength. But here, none of that matters. The world around him has shifted into something much harsher. Something that doesn't care about who he is or what he wants. The war doesn't ask for permission. It takes, and now it's taken Roger. There's a quiet fear in this part of the story that makes it hit even harder. Roger doesn't panic. He doesn't shout or fight back, but you can feel the realization slowly settling in. He understands what this means. If the army marches, he marches with them. If they fight, he's right there in the middle of it. And if things go wrong, there's no guarantee he makes it out alive. All because of a mission that was supposed to avoid bloodshed. What makes this even more powerful is how isolated Roger becomes in that moment. He's surrounded by people, by soldiers, by noise and preparation, but he's completely alone. No Brianna, no Jamie. No one who truly knows him. And in a place like that, surrounded by men ready for war, being alone is one of the most dangerous things you can be. Because no one is going to protect you. You have to survive on your own. And Roger isn't just dealing with fear, he's dealing with conflict inside himself. Does he try to escape? Does he obey orders and hope for the best? Does he fight in a war that isn't even his? Every option comes with a cost, and none of them feel right. That's what makes his situation so gripping. It's not just about being trapped physically, it's about being trapped morally. At the same time, this storyline does something very important for the bigger picture. It shows us just how bad things have become for Jamie without even showing Jamie directly. The fact that Roger is rejected and, not just rejected, but detained because of Jamie's name tells us everything. Jamie's reputation is damaged. His past choices are catching up with him. And now, even the people who should be on his side are turning away. Roger is paying the price for that. And as the camp prepares for battle, the pressure only builds. You can almost hear at the distant sound of war getting closer. Orders being shouted. Weapons being checked. Soldiers getting ready. There's no escape from it. The longer Roger stays, the deeper he's pulled into something he never wanted to be part of. It's like standing on the edge of a storm and realizing you're already inside it. By the end of this section, one thing becomes very clear: Roger's story is no longer about helping Jamie. It's about survival. Because once the battle begins, it won't matter why